I remember when I was first learning this. When I say learning this, I mean going out and approaching women. We're talking, this is 2008. In 2008, I was struggling with approach anxiety. That was the thing that held me back. I would stay up really late at night. I remember listening to like Mystery and from the Mystery Method and what was it? Neil Strauss, and watch his old stuff and a little bit of RSD stuff, but I never really resonated with that as much. And so I'd watch this stuff. I'd literally fall asleep listening to stuff. I remember there's this guy named Hypnotica, and he'd had these confidence, he's still around, he has these confidence audios, and I would listen to these confidence audios and fall asleep to them. I have no idea if it worked. Well, clearly it didn't, because even after that, it's not like I jumped out of bed and started going out and meeting women. So approach anxiety, getting in my head, was one of the biggest struggles that I ever had when it came to going out and meeting women. And I didn't really realize it at that point. Like, I sort of did, but really I was focusing more on, what to say and how attraction worked. But it's funny because in that moment, what did any of that stuff matter if I couldn't go over and get out of my head and talk to a girl? So what I learned is this, and this is going to be helpful for you as well. What I learned was a technique that helped me get to the point where I could get over the approach anxiety and actually start using the stuff I was learning in terms of building attraction and physical escalation and closing and all that stuff. And I'll get to that in a second. And the reason why you need to learn this, because I know why it was important for me, but why do you need to learn this? Well, if you learn how to do this, what's going to happen is it's going to get you into more conversations. It's going to get you more confident. And also, and this is so cool, this beating this fear and getting out of your head, what it actually does is it spills out into other areas of your life. That's what happened to me as well. I remember that when I became more confident with women and more fearless, all of a sudden everything else became easier. Like, I wasn't scared of all the other normal things that you might be scared of, or worried about the future, or even like public speaking or being in groups of people where it'd always be a little bit like, kind of scary. All that stuff went away because I beat this fear. And I can only imagine if I didn't learn it, and if you don't learn it here, or you don't apply the stuff that I'm teaching you. Looks like there's a fly in here. If you don't use it, then it's going to be hard for you to get into a lot of conversations and talk to a lot of women. So I highly encourage that you use it, so you don't just stay in your comfort zone, your whole life and not using it. Okay, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about the 3-second rule. That was one of the first things I ever learned. Probably one of the most important techniques ever. Coined from Mystery, who I don't even know. I think he's still around doing stuff, but not anymore, or not as much as he used to. But I remember this one concept, and it was great. So what's the 3-second rule? It's getting into conversation as fast as you can. You have 3 seconds to go over and talk to a girl. That's it. Now, I know that alone is not going to do anything for you. I know, okay, now you're just going to go out in 3 seconds, boom, you'll approach a girl, no problem. I'm very realistic. That's not what happened to me. But what's going to happen is you're going to now have this filter in your head. You're going to understand that, okay, it's going to take 3 seconds for me to go over and talk to a girl. At least that's what the goal is. So you might want to try going out and practicing, giving yourself 10 seconds, and then 9, and then 7, and then 6, 5, maybe 3. You can get there, right? Like, get there as fast as you can, but try to get to the point where, maybe you're starting with a longer amount and then going down till you get to that point. That's what's going to help you get out of your head. See, if you understand how to go over there and do it in 3 seconds, what it's going to train you, what it trained me to do, is get out of my head and into action. And so this is really important. You can consistently train yourself to get out of your head and into action by just moving and going instead of overthinking and thinking about it. Now, here's another tip I have for you. Is you want to have a couple of things of conversation that you're actually going to say, so you're not sitting there thinking about what to say while you're in conversation, right? You don't want to be talking to a girl and then not listening to her and then thinking about, what do I say next? What do I say next? Now you're in your head. So what helped me is some training wheels. Okay, so the training wheels of have a couple of conversation topics ready to go that you can use in conversation, just to train you at first. So the pickup artists used to call this a routine. They'd have full routines that they would just repeat. Like it would be like a 5, 10, 15-minute routine. I don't think you need to do that. I think that just trains you to learn routines and not be just in a normal conversation. But it's okay to have, like a smaller routine based on a couple of conversation topics. So what you can do is, and I have this for free, maybe you've got this, I've had this for a while now, it's called Chick Crack. There's a link in the description down below where you can get that. That's topics of conversation that women love. So you can take some of those topics, memorize them, and then bring them up in the conversations. So again, you're out of your head and into action. One of my favorite ones is astrology. I love this because either women strongly believe in astrology, most do, or they really don't. I rarely meet anyone who's neutral on the topic. So you can bring up and say, hey, what's your sign? Hey, I'm curious, what's your sign? You can just bring that up in conversation. And they're going to be like, oh, my sign is I'm a Pisces, I'm an Aries, I'm a Gemini. She'll be like, what are you? And then if she says, on the other hand, like, that's stupid, I don't believe in that stuff. And you can say, oh, me neither, if you don't. Or if you do, you can say, why? It's amazing, it's interesting, I love learning about it, whatever. So that's a really good one. If you want to check out, there's like 4 more of those in Chick Crack. You can check it out again down in the description below. But yeah, so I want you to use the 3-second rule and then use a topic of conversation so you can move the interaction forward. So here's a way to combine this. Here's what you can do right now. So this video isn't just a random video that you watched and it did nothing for your life. Like if you actually want to use this material, what you can do is pick a time this week, like right now, right? So pause the video and pick a time this week that you're going to go out and you're going to practice getting over and approaching a girl and saying hi or saying whatever you want in under 3 seconds, or right about 3 seconds. And so you can't go home until you approach a girl in 3 seconds. Okay, so that's what you can do. And then here's a bonus, a little extra credit for you, is in one of these approaches, try to bring up a topic of conversation. It can be the astrology thing I mentioned. It can be something else, whatever you want, just so you're out of your head and more in the interaction. So try that, see if it works for you. I really hope this helps. And if you want to take it to a next level, you can check out my program Hooked at getherhooked.com. I'll leave a link in the description down below. That's going to teach you the whole system in terms of meeting and attracting women and going out and making it work for you. If you want to, dive deeper into this and make it part of your lifestyle instead of just this video. So check that out. I hope that helps. I'll see you on the next video.